Fair use, fair use. This is only for edificational purposes.
Irishman, you get pretty tan. You got some color, and you're not
well,
wearing a hat.
I'm actually black Irish.
Oh, careful,
Yeah.
careful. This is on the internet. This can live
No, that's
forever.
no. I'm black Irish. It's it's a thing.
What is that?
And it is, well, when the Moors came in, what happened was the North Africans came in around the west of Ireland, and that my family is originally from the west, from Galway, and they interfered with our sheep, and you end up with people like me that actually have, you know, I mean, I don't have dark skin, but I tan.
For an Irish.
How you say this last name?
Bellawong.
What kind of name is that?
Italian.
Oh, I see. That's why you driving him around. You half a nigger yourself.
Sicilians have black blood pumping through their hearts. And no, if you don't believe me, you can look it up. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago, you see, the Moors conquered Sicily. And the Moors are niggers. See, way back then, Sicilians were like wops from northern Italy. They all had blonde hair and blue eyes. But, well, then the Moors moved in there and, well, they changed the whole country. They did so much fucking with Sicilian women, that they changed the whole bloodline forever. That's why blonde hair and blue eyes became black hair and dark skin. You know, it's absolutely amazing to me to think that to this day, hundreds of years later, that Sicilians still carry that nigger gene. Now this, I'm quoting history. It's written. It's a fact. It's written.
I love this guy.
Your ancestors are niggers.
Irishman, you get.
Shalom, Kol, Lo, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH is giving all praise to the Most High. In the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit, double honors to our teachers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us His truth and sincerity, peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom to 144,000. And this post it says, Israelites will be scattered and look like every nation on earth. All right, and as you see in this video, they're showing you how the Sicilian Irish are actually so-called niggas, okay? Black people, all right? It says Africans, which were not Africans, were Israelites, are the reason Italians have darker skin. All right, so you have those Southern Italians who were bred by the Moors. All right, Jake went in there and started laying down with those women, and now you have a nation of people who look like so-called white men. All right, but really they're Jakes. All right, so when somebody says that they're Italian or Irish, you have to dig deeper, like Tazariak didn't do in the Elder Pastor Hart's video in the spiritual, because right as the Elder Pastor Hart was doing that video, I was already lining up this video right here a few days ago. You know, I hadn't got a chance to get into it until now, and it's all through the Spirit, man, that the Lord is showing you, the truth of this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and how it's not. This isn't a black thing. This isn't a color thing. This isn't the new Black Panther Party, or the Israelites will be scattered and come out looking like all nations. Now let's play this video right here, and we'll grab some precepts. It says, Ben Dadan was shocked after he realized that Belly Gang Cushington was actually black, which is this individual right here. Now you have individuals that look like this that may say they're black, and they'll show that their mother is black, but their father is an Edomite. Well, in this case, you're going to see who his father is. Let's play it.
Billy Pops.
I'm gonna pull up on my dad, man. Let's see what he got going on.
Yeah.
You know the people think I'm.
And you hear his voice, all right? You see his demeanor. You see his spirit. That's a Jake, man. Okay, that's a Jake. Which another thing too, you're gonna mention about the gingers. They saying how gingers, which that goes back to the Irish as well, or how gingers are black. All right. So it's being found out that this this thing of ours, the Israelites were scattered throughout the whole world and may come looking like different nations, but that doesn't mean you're not an Israelite. It's where you can't be a surface level Israelite. You got to dig deeper. Okay, this is a spiritual thing. Let's let it play.
White, man. So.
Oh, We finna go pull up on Belly Pops.
I'm gonna pull up on my dad, man. Let's see what he got going on.
Yeah.
You know the people think I'm white, man. So.
Oh, you ain't?
The people say I'm white, man. That's what they say.
Hold on. What am I? Oh, is you ginger?
You know that what they call for red hair, don't?
Yeah.
I'm mixed though, black and white.
Is you?
Yeah.
My mama is too.
Just like the Drewski skit. I don't know my mama though. I don't know my.
Oh, is you who Drewski made?
He said he don't know his mama. Why? Because his mama ended up dealing with a so-called black man, and she didn't want to deal with the backlash of, you know, a black child. All right, which is a lot of backlash that came behind these other nations, women, for dealing with niggas, man. Okay, that's why you got a term snicker liquor. Okay, all right, and many more. You know, and that's a derogatory term given to other nations, women, when they dealing with Jake. I remember I had an Edomite girlfriend in high school, and we was walking down the street, and somebody rolled by and said that, and she was all upset and stuff, you know. But it's true. You is licking Snickers, all right. But in this case, and like in the previous video, they showed you how, you know, the Italian dude, he got, you know, he was offended that he was telling him that his ancestors were niggas. Okay, nobody wants to be a nigga. I saw a picture. I want to post it, but I can't. It was basically like a retarded kid, and he was saying, "I may be retarded, but at least I'm not black." All right. So nobody wants to be a nigga until it's time to be a nigga. Okay. Or everybody want to be a nigga until it's time to be a nigga. Right. Everybody wants to copy our style. They want to be like us. They want to dress like us. They want to wear their hats backwards like us. But when it comes to the oppression and the curses that we go through, nobody want to be a nigga. Okay. But they don't realize that the greatest blessings, okay, is coming to the Israelites, which are so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians.
Just get about.
At first, it looked like me.
Yeah.
And with the family, like that ain't.
Yeah. Damn. Chat, y'all knew that?
Come on, Dad.
What going on? Hell going on, man? He say you his daddy.
Hey, look, I got my socks with the home load, and I gotta get back in here.
You heard he said that? He said, "I say you my dad."
He say you his daddy.
I ain't got time for that stupid shit.
We finna go pull up on.
See that was his dad. Definitely a Jake. I ain't got time for that stupid shit, man. All right, definitely a Jake. You can tell by his spirit. All right. Said I ain't got time for that stupid shit, man. Okay, cause he know, and I got, you know, nephews, shit, family, you know, cousins that look like, you know, that look white, but they're black. My grandma got a whole house full of kids that look white, but they come from my uncle. You know, my brother dealt with a white woman, and his kids got blonde hair, blue eyes, light skin, pale complexion, but they're niggas. They're Jake. Hey, the brother I told him in the camp, you know, he dealt. His woman is a so-called Cuban woman, and his baby got, you know, blue eyes and, you know, fair skin, but they're Israelites. Okay. So, Jake, you can't be simple in this truth, bro.
We finna go pull up on Belly Pops.
Let's see some of these comments. Somebody say, you can tell that's his pops. That's crazy. He really is black. I swear I thought he was white. Right. She said, that's a black man. Ginger is black. They come from black women. Look up Esau and Jacob. See, people waking up. DNA is crazy, ain't it? Somebody said, oh, I ain't know either. Okay, so yeah, let's grab a few precepts. I'm gonna make this too long. This is the book of John, chapter 7 and verse 24. It says, judge not according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment. So you can't judge us according to the way somebody look, okay? With the way they may appear, okay? Looks can be deceiving. I went into that in my last video about the AI shit. Hey, your eyes can play tricks on you in these last days, bro. You got people who act black. They call them wiggers, but really they is black, you know? Now you got exceptions to the rule. You got motherfuckers that's really just trying to act like niggas. Okay, but then you got people that are, you will say they acting black, but really that's just in their spirit. Okay, they just appear to be white. In NLT it says, look beneath the surface so you can judge correctly, right? So when it comes to us being the judges, you know, and, you know, bringing these precepts and edifying our people, we have to be able to judge correctly. Like Tazariak was not doing in that video that El Apostle Hard did. He wasn't judging correctly. He was judging based off his feelings and his emotions and his false doctrine that he was taught by his leaders. Okay? You can't judge somebody based off of the color of their skin or just because they say they're from a particular land where you think white people dwell. Okay, we were scattered all over the earth. Let's grab that. Let's go over here. I'm done with that. Let's go to Tobit chapter 13, verse 3. Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them. See, we were scattered among the Gentiles. Like the Moors went into southern Italy and they started popping all. He said they did so much fucking. It was popping all them women, and what was coming out was Israelite children, man. That may have been a lighter complexion. And let me say this too: when we conquer this world, we're going to pop all these other nations' women, and we're going to bring forth our seed, whether you Japanese, Chinese, Arab, whatever. Okay, we're going to be doing so much fucking. We're going to bring back the nations, and it's going to be we're going to bring back our people. Okay, and they're going to look like these other nations. They may look like these other nations, but they're going to be Israelites. Okay, so you can't be simple in this thing, bro. All right, let's go over here to Numbers. All right, Numbers chapter 1, because you are who your father is. So that's why it was spiritual that he showed his father. He said he didn't know his mother. He never met his mother. She left the father with the baby and got out of Dodge. She understood that she'll receive all kind of backlash and hell and stigmatism behind bringing forth a black baby. All right. It says, I saw a video too not too long ago. It was a so-called white woman, a grandmother, and the grandfather and their grandchildren came over, and it was obviously mixed babies or whatever. The granddaughter or whatever must have slept with a so-called black man, and the grandmother was calling the babies derogatory terms, and the granddad kept saying, "Stop doing that! Stop! Hey, don't say that! Don't say that in front of the kids." I tell you that what they said behind when the kids ain't around. Well, she was saying it in front of the kids. All right. Numbers chapter 1 verse 18, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees, which means what, their lineage, after their fathers, so like after their families, by the house, which means the race of their fathers. So your lineage, your race is determined by the race of your father, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. People look at me and they say, "What you is Spanish? What you is Spanish?" And I'm a lighter skinned Jake, and some of my features may make you think I'm Spanish, but I'm part Cuban and part Indian because my great grandmother was part Indian and part Cuban. But my father's father was Negro, okay, so-called black. All right, so you are who your father is. No matter what we look like, we are who our father are. All right. In that movie that he said he was telling him that how you a nigga. It's called True Romance. All right. I've seen parts of the movie. I haven't fully seen the movie. I'm gonna go watch it again to get a better understanding because that was a heavy scene, bro. And I've seen that scene many times. But hey, man. All right, let's grab this though. Okay, because Israel is going to come looking like all the nations. Okay. Let's grab this in the NLT as well. This is Jeremiah chapter 12 and verse 9. Jeremiah chapter 12 and verse 9. It says, verse 8. It says, "Mine heritage is unto me as a lion in the forest. It crieth out against me. Therefore have I hated it. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour." And that's what these other nations, all right, they've come to devour us. All right, but it said, "Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird." What is a speckled bird? It's a bird with different colors. All right, Israel comes in many different shades and hues, man. All right, whether it be very, very dark or very, very light. Okay, and NLT says, "My chosen people act like speckled vultures. They themselves are surrounded by vultures," which is these other nations. "Bring on the wild animals to pick their corpses clean." Right, and this is what these nations have done. This is what nation have not had a part in our captivity, roughly paraphrasing. All right, so all these nations have had a chance in ruling over us. All right, let's grab this. All right, because you see certain people, and I remember I once worked at his store, and those 3 people came in. 2 of them was obviously Jake. They looked like Jake. One of them was, he appeared to be a white man, but he acted like Jake. All right, and I was talking, I'm building with him. I'm telling him, hey man, you a nigga, bro. You a nigga. He's like, I know, bro, I know. But he was more of a nigga than the ones who look like niggas. All right. So it says, let's go right here. Let's do this. All right. It says, just get right to the point. This is Romans chapter 8, verse 16. It says, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. This is why when a so-called black man sees another black man, in some random place, there's a certain connection there. There's a certain, it's like we have telekinesis, can read each other's mind. You give each other that nod. It says, and if children, then heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Hamashiach, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. And we are going to be glorified together. This is why, you had, when that great multitude was gathered, he said, who are these? And he said, these are they who, roughly paraphrasing, so like it's early, but these are they who have put off the mortal and put on the immortal. And he said it because they look like all different nations. Okay? So we're going to come back, we're going to look like all different nations, but we're going to still be those people, the Israelites. Verse 16, for his spirit, in the NLT, for his spirit joins with our spirit to affirm that we are God's children. You see? So we are the Lord's chosen people, man. And when we're being woken up, you may have somebody who may appear to be white, look white, but the whole time is Jake. And since we are his children, we are his heirs. In fact, together with Hamashiach, we are heirs of the Most High's glory. But if we are able to share his glory, we must also share his suffering. That's why we got to go through this hell. Okay? You read in Deuteronomy 22 and 10 how, let me grab it real quick. All right, I don't got a lot of time. I got to get back to work, but hey, the spirit moving, so we're gonna grab this. It says Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 10. Nope, that's not it. Salakia. Let me see. Among the captives, a fair woman. This is about how we conquer these nations. 22. Yep. 22 and 11. 21 and 11. Salakia. Deuteronomy 21 and 11. All right. When we conquer these nations, we're gonna see their women and take a liking unto them, and start popping them. Start take them. It says Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 10. This is going to happen again. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord Yahawah thy power delivereth them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman. So you have a beautiful woman among these other nations, bro. And we're men. Jake like variety. Jake like flavor. So we don't just got an affection for so-called black women or Spanish women. We got affection for all women. If you're a real man, okay. It says, when thou goest thou seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Meaning you found attraction to her, okay. You see attraction to her, just as will make her what? A concubine. We're going to have concubines in the kingdom. So like for the noise, we're going to have concubines in the kingdom, bro. Which are other nations, women, one of the that are going to be our women, okay? We're going to deal with them. And with them women, we're going to bring forth our seed. So let's bring it back. And seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home in thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails. And pretty much what? Being cleansed, because a lot of these other nations, they have different customs. So she's going to be stripped of all of that. And she shall put on the remnant of her captivity. She shall put the remnant of her captivity from off her, and she shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and mother a full month. See, we wasn't just graping the woman on the field, man, as we seen them. That's what Esau was doing unto us, which is wicked. So like, 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Get this, let me get this, let me get this. Alright. It says, go ahead. It says,
I leave that thing down there.
oh my God. Alright. Salakia. It says, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. Why? Because they just got put to death. Okay? They were conquered. Like I said earlier, we're about to conquer this world again. Okay? The Lord said we shall reign with YAHAWASHI for 1,000 years. That's going to be what? A lot of fucking. Alright? It says, and after that thou shalt go in unto her and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. Meaning what? You're going to pop her. Okay, and when you pop her, we ain't going to have no condoms and no birth control. She going to get pregnant. Every time we pop a woman, she going to get pregnant, man. See, Jake already popping babies, popping women and having babies on accident. Esau trying to have babies and can't have babies. You see? And it shall be if thou have no, that's the point. Let's read this in NLT real quick and we'll close out. It says, and suppose you see, verse 10, suppose you go out to war against your enemies, and the Lord your power hands them over to you, and you take some of them as captives, which is what? Slaves. All right. This is why you got many accounts where Moses was telling the men as well to go out and take these other nations' women. Okay, and he said the young women. Okay, because what they hadn't already been with a man. It said, roughly paraphrasing, who had not known a man, meaning they had never been, they were virgins. All right. And suppose you see among the captives a beautiful woman, and you are attracted to her and want to marry her, which marriage is sex, meaning you want to pop her. If this happens, you may take her to your home, where she must shave her head and cut her nails and change the clothes she was wearing when she was captured. Meaning you got to clean her up. Okay, we're going to clean her up. We ain't going to have her out there. She ain't going to have to, because a lot of these nations too, another thing they do is they reverence their gods with their hair, or their nails. You see that with those, with Elam. That's where our women get their weave from. It's a whole thing where they pretty much have a ritual where they cut their hair and they give it and they sacrifice it unto their gods, and then Eve come over here or go in the stores and buy it, right? So they got demons on them because that hair got demons on it. Now you got to cut all that off, and you're gonna be pretty much brought up, in our customs. Okay, and then this is also too with dealing with these other nations' women. This is why you're not supposed to marry them, because if you marry them and you take on to their customs, then you're going off. But if you dealing with them and then you make them follow your customs, that's a different story. You see? That's why in the book of Nehemiah he was so upset because those Israelite kids didn't even know the Hebrew tongue. Meaning what? They was learning the customs of the other nations. Okay? That's why it was a problem. It says, and change the clothes she was wearing when she was captured. She will stay in your home, but let her mourn her father and mother for a full month. Then you may marry her, going on to her, have sex with her, and you will be her husband, and she will be your wife. You see? So this is what the Lord is establishing in the earth all over again. Okay, a righteous rulership. This Bible isn't about your feelings. It isn't about the black woman. It ain't about being black at all, really. Okay, it's about us being Israelites and coming back to our customs. Okay, the Lord is going to put us, make us kings and priests over this earth, and a part of that means we're going to, have these other nations as captives and their women as concubines. Okay, and we're going to have the finest of their women. That's what Esau did it to us, and on the plantation. All right, so you got all these, a lighter skinned Jake women, because what Esau, what was he doing? And you got tares too as well. But Esau, he would take the finest of our women and he'll pop them. You see that to this day. A lot of the best looking women of our women is dealing with Esau. Okay, and we get the worst of our women. But in our kingdom, we're going to get the best of the best, the cream of the crop of their women. All right, what goes around comes back around. Shalom, Kamashawala, Baba Ball, double honors to our teachers, the elders, and apostles, the great millstone who taught us this truth and truth and sincerity. I pray with edifying to the elect. Shalom.